Well, Gauteng Education MEC, meanwhile, Matome Chiloane, says well over 11,866 learners and their parents have not yet responded to online placement offers. He briefed the media Thursday on grade 1 and grade 8 placements for the 2026 upcoming school calendar. Online applications closed at the end of August, with placement offers sent as early as October 16th this year. Chiloane also urged parents to accept offers quickly as schools reopen in January 2026. Meanwhile, rights group Civic Root Advocacy has expressed concern over the worsening school placement crisis here in Gauteng. For this now, we are joined very proudly by Civic Root Advocacy Managing Director, Mr. Siyabulela Jentile. Siyabulela, it's such a pleasure to have you with us. Welcome to SA Today. So quite interesting that we're having that discussion about the court judgment pertaining to the admissions policy in the Western Cape. And this side, we're hearing an MEC saying that over 11,000 parents and learners have not responded to the call for those placements. So what, in essence, does this do when we start the official school calendar in 2026?
Well, thank you so much for having me, Alicia. It's always a pleasure speaking to you.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes, so by the way, congratulations to Equal Education. You are inspired by this initiative, and I wish it could extend it to Gauteng. In fact, we are looking at that because you're asking a very important question. What does this mean? It's important to mention that the education crisis, or rather the education, Gauteng Department of Education's placement system has collapsed. It's in a crisis. And well, first I say that because one, the parents have been calling their offices, have been calling their officials without getting any response. There's been very little to no communication from the department about what is happening. Some time ago, not so long ago, the system was down and the parents were not told about that. That was hidden from the parents. So there's also that issue that the MEC is not, really talking about. And to come out now and say that the blame is with the parents is disingenuous. It's lack of leadership, and it shows that they have little to no regard for the learners and for the people of Gauteng. It's important that we always remember that Section 29 of the Chapter 2 of the Bill of Rights of the Constitution says everyone has got a right to education.
Absolutely.
And what they are doing now, they are, trampling on those rights of these learners. It's December now, and if you've got over 40,000 learners who have still unplaced, it signals a crisis that we all need to deal with.
I mean, let's talk about these administrative issues, because it seems to be a consistent issue, not just in Gauteng, Siyabulela. If you actually look at when these administration processes were actually introduced, they've long been a series of concerns, both by parents and even learners, whether it be the school that they'd like to select for their child to go to not being necessarily acceptable for those parents. So let's unpack. How are you then working to ensure that they try and at least look at alternative ways to ensure that this admissions process is more inclusive?
Clearly it's not working, and one of the concerns that we've always been raising is that it is not inclusive enough. It's the policy by design. I'm not sure who it was designed for, because I'm yet to meet a parent that says this system works for me.
But what was the issue initially with how school children were admitted, particularly with grade 8 and grade 1?
And grade 1, exactly, and which is why we believe that the admissions process should go back to the schools. It must be decentralized, because clearly the departments don't have the capacity to handle this kind of an administrative process. And so I'm not sure, honestly, what is it that they were trying to fix, but clearly someone some ways benefiting from this system, and it's definitely not the learners, it's not the parents of Gauteng or parents anywhere else in South Africa. So one of the calls we are making is that there needs to be a complete review of this feeder zone system, and it must be cancelled, and the administration processes, admissions processes should be returned back to the schools themselves. We've had instances of parents whose children, never mind the ones who have not been placed, ones that have been placed many kilometers away from where they stay. There's no justification for that. Others have been,
there's transport issues.
There's transport issues, monies that we don't have. And you've got parents who are able, who've got the financial means to take their children to better schools, but they cannot because of this very same policy. And the department is failing to service the schools in the township. So each parent who's got some means wants to take their children, elsewhere, but they can't because of this same system. it also frustrates the teachers, the principals. I spoke to a principal yesterday in Gauteng North, one of the schools there. She tells me that this thing is equally frustrating because as a principal, I don't know how to prepare for the coming academic year. So it's not only the parents, but also the principals, the schools themselves. Because one of the exercises I did quickly was to go to the district, and the district, I'd get there, tell them, guys, the parents and the schools are saying you've got all the answers, you've got the list, and they're like, no, we are also waiting for head office.
The SGPs, that's exactly what they tell you.
So everyone seems to be frustrated
about what's really going on.
And unfortunately, it leaves the parents exhausted and anxious and unsure about the future of their children. So we can't be having the same conversation each time, every year we're having the same conversation. Absolutely. This thing is not benefiting anyone. It needs to change. And just to make this point clear, that the blaming of parents is unfair. This is a systemic failure. It is not a parental failure. And the minister and the MEC needs to fix that and be honest with the people of this country that they are failing technically, administratively, all these other colleagues you can think of, they are failing. And it is not the parents, but it is them who are failing the people of this country.
A very quick one on the point of departure there, Siyabulela. I mean, with the introduction of the Bella Act, we know that there has been that ruling, that directive, that the kids of undocumented foreign nationals are supposed to be given access to school. So now couple that with the current administration's processes, failures that we have, how is it going to impact on overall schooling and education and admissions right across the sector in our schools come, of course, the new calendar?
It is going to affect it negatively, and it's one of the things that we believe that they need to look at and possibly review if there's an opportunity for that. And we must be able to say, Alicia, without any fear of contradiction, that the children of South Africans must be prioritized.
That's the core.
Yes, they must be prioritized. It cannot be that our children cannot find schools because schools are full. And if you look at the parents, the discourse that is out there on social media everywhere, is that the schools who are claiming to be full, when you get there, you find that those children are the children of foreign nationals. And we cannot come here and want to be politically correct. Our schools must first prioritize the children of South Africans first, and then we can take it from there. It should not be the other way around. And the frustration should be understood. It should be legitimized because really our children are still without school. It is now almost mid-December. And it does not make sense that children of foreign nationals have already been placed. That thing, it must change. And I want to encourage South Africans, especially parents, to be actively involved in this. We've started a petition. They must go online and search me, Siyabulela Jentile. I've put up a petition. Let's connect. Let's find solutions together. Let's challenge this policy because it does not put the needs and the interest of South Africans first.
Siyabulela, thank you so much. That was Civic Root Advocacy Managing Director Siyabulela Jentile talking to us about the Gauteng's admissions processes that are currently quite a concern for most learners as well as parents.